Bills fans, what is up? This is the day after, and this is going to be a short and sweet video. Hopefully, I'll try to keep it short and concise for you. Um, Talk around in circles sometimes, so I made a little list here of things I want to hit on. And first and foremost is a thank you to everyone who came in on a holiday after that win and spent time with me and each other and just enjoyed that victory together. It meant so much to me um, for that because of all the things we've been through as a fan base with this team, this organization, um, identifying with that logo and that team hasn't always been easy. And yesterday just felt so rewarding, so rewarding. Um, After the first drive, the way the game went, you couldn't have written a better script against a more, you know, against an opponent that just embodies and just signifies everything that us Bills fans just aren't. And it felt so good. And I don't know about you guys. I'm pretty sure you guys felt the same. It's just the way the game was predicted and talked about in the lead up. The whole narrative was the Bills just have to show up. Just show up and Dallas will take care of the rest. And after the first drive, it felt like that's the everything was going according to plan, but Bills changed that. Unlike other times, like I alluded to yesterday, my first video, the Monday night just meltdown where you turn over Tony Romo 5 times, and it's so appropriate. He's the color guy, the analyst, or I believe he's the analyst on the game. Um, and he, it just, my first video was that after that game, it was spawned, it was driven by that game, and then the next one I can think of is the '09 loss, again a primetime loss, same score, 25-24 to the Patriots. You're up by 2 scores with 5 minutes to go, and they still found a way to lose, and it just felt like yesterday was this, not today, not today, not this team. And for us to finally feel that and get that reward and get that gratification at the end of it. I know, you got some of you guys personally and some of you guys from a distance, and it felt so good, so rewarding to not just be a Bills fan, but just to know you guys and do these videos and get a chance to just revel in this. It's been so good, so good. And and all the permutations from it. I mean, today we wake up, we can't wait to jump on Twitter. We can't wait to check our phones. We can't wait, just the gifts from the game of Allen, the throws, the competitiveness, the toughness, the fourth down, where he just, he says after the game how he wanted it. He just wanted it. And man, for a young quarterback wearing a Bills uniform to be talked about and play like that at that level on that stage against that kind of opponent with that type of magnitude, it wow, it just brought back so many memories of the glory days. And finally, for once, we get to talk about the now and the future and what could be coming on the horizon, and instead of just basking in the past or thinking about the past and the glory days and the four straight and you know the Hall of Famers from those teams. And no, we get to talk about things that are happening now instead of all that. And those things are great. That's nice, but they have their place. And I always said that was the unfortunate thing that happened at One Bills Drive of old, was they turned it into a museum where you just came to look at things that used to be. Nothing new, nothing great, nothing grand was there on the horizon, or they talked about it, they gave it a lot of lip service, They always talked about, we got to get over the hump. We got to get over the hump. And that proverbial hump just seemed insurmountable. It just could never be gotten over. And that seems like it's just a thing of the past. You know, all the embarrassments we've suffered from past regimes, from the players, the coaches, the brass, whether it was save the postage, whether it was, Malarkey quitting the reign of Skeletor, Dick Duran. He just seemed like the cat with 9 lives. The brand has been tarnished. Press conference by the ultimate Carney Barker, Russ Brandon. Um, uh, you name it. St. Doug, where the Bills family, then 2 days later he quits. Starting quarterback tells the media he's going to get his wallet and just leaves the building, retires. The Rex debacle, embarrassment after embarrassment, meltdown after meltdown from players on the field, behind the scenes. Willis McGahee, doing what he did in the Bills community. Marshawn Lynch, having just a tumultuous time with the Bills, being traded away, then going to have a great career in Seattle. The Doug Whaley press conference where it's just humiliation on top of humiliation. And then they hire a guy who has a plan. And that plan was methodical. It's ongoing, required patience, which is a virtue. And sometimes it's a luxury. But this guy's been afforded that patience and been given that rope. And he's earned it, or every bit of it. So things that they do going forward, whether it's player acquisitions, personnel decisions, I can't question it because they've earned my trust, and I feel like they've earned your trust because of the things that they have said and put place in the motion. It's bore fruit, and we've seen it come to fruition before our very eyes, and that's something that no Bills regime prior can say that they were, a part of. Notice I didn't include Chan. I didn't include Nix. I felt like they had their hearts in the right place. They just weren't the guys to do the job. They were older. Their timeline was sped up. They were still under the vestiges of Wilson and all the guys that were still there, all the losers, all the control fiends that used to be at One Bills Drive that they've since sent packing. So I didn't include them in that because I feel like they legitimately tried to turn it around, but just we're not, we're not the guys. Just didn't have it, and I feel like you have younger people with the gumption, the energy, the intestinal fortitude that are going to go through weather the storms, and no matter what it is, as something as large as developing a quarterback like Josh Allen or sticking with Cody Ford at a right tackle, hanging on and making sure, you get Levi Wallace rotated in and out, but still sticking with him, not benching him and emasculating him, being patient with an Ed Oliver, rotating him in with, with a Jordan Phillips, with a Vince Taylor, or Corey Lugitt, all these guys, and just hanging on, sticking with Starr. And again, just making plays and those guys responding and getting the job done. So again, we can't say anything less than they've earned our trust and that they've truly gotten a lot of people's attention, not only Bills fans, but people around the football community. And that's just the NFL community. And it's for all the right reasons for once, We're not talking about, we talk about the draft because that's what football fans do, but we're not just sitting there thinking about quarterbacks in this draft. We're not looking at head coaches. And for the first time in a long time, it's just so comforting and so freeing to not have to do that. Like I even said yesterday, um, to see the gifts of Allen's throws to Beasley and the runs and the competitiveness, it just tastes so good. On a day where it's food and fest and family and football, all the F's, it's just fantastic. That's the next F I can add. Is for Bills fans, it's just fantastic. And the fans, and I'll end it with this, for the fans who stayed, that had experienced the winning, the Super Bowls, the playoffs, all the great games that were baked into that, and they stayed through all the regimes, all the losing, all the indignities, all the suffering, and they stayed. Thank you. Thank you for staying. Thank you for that generation hanging on like we hung on. I'm a part of that generation hanging on and hoping for a turnaround. And I'm not saying it's fully there yet, but it looks like it's on the horizon. And for the new fans, the newer fans, like this generation after ours, generation and a half after ours. I remember there was a chat room that used to be open. It was a chat app, an extension. It was called Pal Talk. It's no longer around. And I used to have a Bills room in there called Bills Banter. And I remember only a couple of kids would come in and talk to me. And this one kid asked me, I remember one time in '08, he asked me, are the Bills going to move? Because that's when they started the Toronto series. Yet another indignity, right? Pouring out a regular season game to Toronto. Another slight to Bills fans. And I just remember at that moment that was as hopeless and as lost as I felt. And those '08, '07, '06 to all the way up into 16 were just vivid, bad memory after bad memory, collapse after collapse, and loss after loss, heartbreak after heartbreak. And yesterday totally, totally went against all of that and just was taken by the scruff of the neck of some young kid from some small farming town in the middle of nowhere, California, and a head coach that was a defensive coordinator who just looks like another coach. And, they might be the guys. This might be this. It feels like our time is here, and it's coming. It's coming, and hopefully it's going to be here for a really long time. And thank you guys so much. All the new subscribers, all the likes, all the comments, all the interaction. Thank you. You know, I can't tell you how much I appreciate it. Thank you guys so, so much. Go Bills always. I'm glad we get to do it together, enjoy it together, witness it together, and finally, it feels like it's our time. It's the Bills' time, and it's coming. It really is coming, and I just can't wait. And we have 4 more games left in this season, and hopefully it looks like some playoffs. Go Bills. Have a great rest of your Friday and holiday weekend. Love you all. Go Bills always.